Hello, everybody. Today we're brought to you by Yokkao.
Yokkao is one of the best Muay Thai equipment and apparel brands in the world. And you can get 10% discount by using our code CombatCasuals10. That's CombatCasuals10.
And we're also brought to you by Powerbody.
Powerbody is one of the best sports supplement wholesalers and retailers in the UK. And again, you can use our code on the retail site, CombatCasuals10. CombatCasuals10.
Should we start the podcast now? Should we do that?
Yeah, let's fucking do it. That's enough of that. Hello and welcome to the Combat Casuals podcast.
If you're a fan of mixed martial arts and all things related, stick around.
We'll be talking everything from past and future events
to harnessing your inner chi and everything in between.
We want to provide you with the opportunity to get involved in the ultimate fighting conversation.
We've been friends for too long now,
and we always have strange conversations.
So we thought, hey, why not make a podcast?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Ian.
And we're the Combat Casuals. Let's go straight into it talking about Batman, or okay. I can, weasel it in, and I have a genuine rough link of how we can connect to something MMA related.
Definitely the second option, like without a shadow of a doubt, the second option. Yeah, I mean, why would we just? Definitely the second option.
Right. Okay. Well,
you're on the spot now.
So let's. It's going to be tricky to make this sound organic now, but so. First of all, with our limit, everything is with our limited knowledge because we're casuals. That's the whole.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
What is your opinion on the Cain Velasquez situation then?
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty mad that he has not been granted bail. First and foremost, I think for anybody, I haven't seen anybody give him negative towards his actions. Like, I'm not saying what he did was okay. Like, you can't just try and murder somebody. However, I'm not in that position. Yeah, but I also have not been in his position, right? So who am I to say, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that? Like, the situation sounds awful. Like, what happened to, I believe it was his daughter, right? That's what I heard.
That's what I've heard, yeah. But
I don't want to assume, but his family member. Well, you would, you're going to do that.
Of course you'd go mad, man.
You go mad. So, I think, one, he didn't actually kill anybody. Two, the guy who did this has been granted bail. And three, a crime of passion is a real thing. So, I think I have I'm on the side of the free Cain train. He shouldn't personally, you can't go around attacking people, so he should face consequences.
It's so tricky. That's what makes it so difficult, is because it's so understandable.
Yes.
I can completely, I can't empathize. I've never been in that situation, but I can sympathize. I can imagine what it would be like if that happened to any one of my family and how I'd react.
God, man, Jesus!
But it doesn't matter, man. You can't go. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it might not even be fucking true, but it was like a high speed chase.
Yes,
and then he was shooting across a busy highway at the guy.
That's vaguely what I heard too.
So it wasn't even just this one guy he put at risk. He was putting loads of innocent people at risk, but with the chase, shooting across this highway,
And the guy he hit wasn't actually the person who did that.
That man,
no,
because this is the. It's just the more I thought about it, the more it just wasn't a good link. I was gonna say he's trying to take out his own vigilante justice.
This is a terrible link. That's so bad.
Not Batman, Cain. Speaking of Batman, Ian,
did you see it? That might be the worst link.
I shouldn't have set it up. I should have just left it and maybe been able to weasel it in there.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god.
Mate, I just wanted a way that we could talk about Batman and it still seemed genuine, MMA related.
I just want to talk about Batman, to be honest. But with I completely agree with you with the Cain situation. I don't think it's for us to say oh well, I wouldn't have done that or I would have done that. You don't know. We haven't lived through that. However, I think he should face consequences for what he's done, but crimes of passion do exist. So he should have leniency, I think, but he shouldn't just get away. You shouldn't be like, oh, that's fine, Cain, see you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure how I feel about the bail thing, because surely they reject bail when they think the person is still a risk. And if the other geezer is still out and Kane is out, then there's risk that might happen again, right? But then obviously I
Yes.
also don't agree that the other guy's on bail.
I
Anyone
think
who's
that's
a
what
danger
people
to
are saying.
society shouldn't be out on bail.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people are saying. They were like,
Yeah.
it's mad that Kane, this person whose child or relative, we should say, because we're not clear, has been assaulted and he had a crime of passion, is not
Yeah.
getting bail. But the guy who actually committed the initial crime was
Yeah.
given bail with no, like, from what, again, reports can be varying from where you hear, but from what I understood, there was no, like, the guy was just released pending his trial. So there wasn't like a put
Yeah.
up this amount. He was just released.
I suppose as well, just to play devil's advocate, if you like, kind of the more people you let get away with that kind of thing, the more it encourages others that they can do
I
the same.
agree. No, I agree.
Especially with big names. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
all eyes are on Cain Velasquez because he's famous. If they
yeah,
let him
yeah,
get away with it, people
yeah.
will think, "Oh, good. Whenever something happens to one of my family, I can do whatever the fuck
Do
I
you,
want, and I'll
do
be
you
all
know
right."
what? I was about to say the exact same thing, that like you don't want to encourage that action, and that's
Yeah,
why I think there should be consequences to what he did. But I think you also should put an asterisk next to it where it's like crimes of passion exist, and the initial crime, if it hadn't occurred, probably this wouldn't have happened. Or if the initial person who had committed those crimes had been granted no bail, then this wouldn't have occurred. But I definitely agree. You have to be like, this behavior is not acceptable,
yeah,
so you will be punished. From what I understand, the maximum he can get is maybe life imprisonment, from what I've understood, because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
intent to
That's what I read.
kill.
Like 20 to life, right?
Yeah, 20 to life, which, I mean, I'd be genuinely very shocked if he gets 20 to life, but I think he will get quite a hefty, like, punishment. Because, I
Yeah,
mean, he did try to kill somebody. That is what happened. Like the person who may have been an awful person anyway, but he still tried to murder someone. So
yeah,
you can't
yeah.
you can't just do that. Like,
No, exactly.
but
So,
I
do you have the same
sympathize.
opinion on Batman? Like the character of Batman?
Well, I stand by, even though I'm sat right now in a Batman t-shirt, but
Good lad.
I knew we were going to talk about this. Um, I I've always been more of a Superman fan, anyway. So I love
Fuck
Batman.
off.
Yeah, I love Superman.
Fuck off,
I
man. No one loves Superman.
I do. I genuinely do. I don't like in
What a
film.
boring cunt.
In film, I don't think he's been shown as well as he has been on
Oh,
the
that's fair. I don't
print.
read comics.
That's like in comic books, I think he's just one of the best characters written. But in film, I agree with you. Like, he's just really boring, and they just
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
he's a." They either don't know what to do with him, so they just make him like righteous above everybody else, or they just go, "What if he was evil?" And you're like, "Okay,
Yeah,
cool."
yeah.
What if Superman was a bad guy? And it's like,
Whilst
well,
we're on what if he was a bad guy,
mm,
have you seen shit? What is it called, man? With the little kid who's basically got Superman powers and he's
Invincible.
evil. No, no, no. That's
Oh,
awesome though.
I love
No, no,
Invincible.
no. And he's a baddie.
Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Yeah, it's good.
Good film.
I really like Brightburn. I thought it was
Good film.
really
Agreed.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. And
But
it
anyway,
sets
we're
up
here to
like
talk
more
about
stuff.
Batman.
Oh yeah, screw those other films.
Yeah, the new Batman.
Or I like this will be, as I was saying before the podcast, this will be probably the third of 4 podcasts I'm going to talk about
We'll keep it
Batman
light.
on.
Keep it light.
I loved it. I genuinely loved it. I think I respect that maybe some people didn't like it as much as other Batman films, and that's cool. But for me, it's like my favorite adaptation of Batman.
Interesting. Okay, that's fair. Like, so I'll just say I did prefer Dark Knight. Definitely.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I did really like this one, and a few things I liked about it. One, like Batman was more grounded, like
Yes.
in the fighting sequences and that he didn't come across as like a superhero. He literally just was like a geezer in a bit more armor than you.
Yeah.
And then I did like that it was like he was a detective again, like kind of like in the Adam
Yes.
West. Was a
Yes.
detective. He wasn't really a superhero. He was a detective again. He was there taking notes and mate, I've I've got Reggie wrestling me.
I could hear something. I was like,
Yeah, I bet you can, mate. I'm trying.
I was like, what's going on? Is he all right?
Talking about Batman. Hang on, listen to him. I'll put the mic to him. What?
Oh, it's amazing.
He's not doing anything now. He gets shy when I put the mic to him. He gets shy.
We got a little gruff. We got a growl there.
Yeah, when he doesn't think anyone's listening, he goes for it. And then as soon as I'm like, "Go on, then, say what you got to say," and he shuts up.
What are you gonna do?
Got something to say or not?
I knew I could hear something. I was like, I thought you were just really fidgety about this film. I was like,
No.
what's going on?
I just can't wait to say my piece. Ian, shut up so I can say my piece.
I must be like, is he okay? Are you good?
No,
I agree, man. I loved that he was detective. That's the key thing. Like, I think, look, it's no lie. Like, if anybody who listens to us has maybe listened to the other podcasts I've been on with UK Film Review, I'm not the biggest fan of Christopher Nolan's films. I think I may have even said that on this one. I'm not the biggest fan.
I'm sure you did at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Episode, and the chances are that the people haven't heard said episode.
Yeah. But
yes,
I'm not a big fan of his films.
Mate? Say it again.
Say it again. I will. I don't like his films.
As many times as you feel the need to.
And Dark Knight falls into that as well. And because I guess from a comic book perspective, I think his view of Batman is it's not really Batman, it's just a dude who's dressed as Batman. And I know that's like, oh, that is Batman then, but it's not really a comic book adaptation of him. And
sure, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, and I respect that, like yourself, people be like, no, I really love that film, and that's fair. Heath Ledger's performance is amazing. But this, for me, was like, this is actually Batman. He's a detective. He's figuring stuff out. He's the world's greatest detective in the comic, and particularly this being like year 2 of his Batman career, it felt like really organic that he's still working things out. He's not the best, but he's, getting a handle. And as you say, he's not like a tank who's throwing people around. He's a dude who's wearing a suit. And one of my favorite bits is when he goes to the club for the first time and he's like, you know who I am? And they're just like, yeah, you're a fucking weirdo in a suit.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought it was great. And it feels, as you say, a lot more grounded. And because of that, I loved it. I genuinely was like, this is my Batman film. And I love the nods to Adam West as well. There is other nods in there.
It was a little long, wasn't it? Come on, man. Be real.
I agree. I think, especially, so I'm just going to go into spoilers. So if you haven't watched the film, like,
maybe turn it off now.
Yeah, stop listening. This is your warning. After
you're going to get one.
After Falcone died, I thought that was going to be the end of the film, and that was at about the 2-hour mark anyway.
I thought that also.
Yeah, so you could have ended the film there, but then the third part happened, which I don't think's bad, but it did feel like the pacing was a bit off because the film felt like it ended, and then I was a bit like, oh, so this is more, you know what I mean? So I agree that it's, if they had ended it at like Falcone or Falcone dying, I would have been like, this is probably one of my favorite films, but because that didn't happen, I'm like, it's great, but that is a bit long. It's too long.
Yeah. So something else I thought as well is, that Weekly Planet sketch, that animated thing that we used to like about the proposed Batman v Superman movie.
Yeah.
Go
watch that, by the way, guys. It's hilarious.
It's very funny. What would they search? Just quickly, what would they search?
Weekly Planet Batman film, like proposed Superman Batman film, like literally. Yeah.
So they obviously make it quite clear that Superman would beat the shit out of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that made me really laugh was I would love to see Robert Pattinson's Batman in a Batman v Superman. He's literally just like a weird detective in a suit who like has a hard time with like the local geezers at the club.
Yeah.
I would really, really like to see him.
So, and Henry Cavill as well. Yeah, like the Superman we've had. So like not a weakened Superman, like a genuinely powerful Superman.
That will be brief.
Yeah,
all in the build-up. It would be like 90 minutes of like really good build-up as they are friends, and Superman's just being really nice to him, and then they fall out, and then about 30 seconds to a minute later, the film's over.
Yeah, and there's just a bloody hole in the floor, and it's like, oh, okay, sorry. Or I love the idea of him stood there trying to like work a riddle out or something, and Superman's just like, what the fuck are you doing? I totally agree. He is That's another criticism I've heard somebody say. Like Lorenzo actually was like he liked it, but Robert Pattinson as Batman, I liked him as Batman, but he was like he's a bit small, and I was like, I didn't mind that. It didn't bother me, but in context of him being in a Batman versus Superman film, I also think Henry Cavill would be like triple his size.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be huge in
Yeah,
comparison to Robert
there was a
Pattinson.
big thing, wasn't there? Robert Pattinson, they asked him to get bigger and he kind of argued against it, didn't he? He said
Oh,
no.
did he?
Well,
No.
this is literally just something I was told. I haven't read this. I haven't
Okay.
seen this. Someone told me this because I said that like this sounds really harsh. It sounds shitty. But, like so the gym I go to, the gym that my MMA studio is based in is like a proper bodybuilding gym. There's a lot of
Yeah.
massive guys. I'm used to seeing like big dudes. And they showed a couple of clips where they tried to show it like from behind his traps and that, like he was big. And I was like, he's not big, man.
No, he's not big.
Like,
He's not
I
big.
was like, please stop trying to do that. And
no.
like, I felt like they were trying to use camera work to imply that he was a big dude. And I was like, he wasn't. And it made me think, like, not that it was an issue at all. I just thought, oh, that's interesting that he hasn't got big for the role.
Yeah.
And I said that to a friend of mine, and they said, oh, no, that was because they asked him, and he essentially said, like, no, that's not the way we should do it anymore.
Do you know what? I think that's fair because I actually liked him being a bit smaller, particularly in terms of it being year 2. Like a guy who's just decided to dress up as a bat and beat people up. I wouldn't expect to be like, you know, a huge. Like Christian Bale was massive when he was Batman, and Ben Affleck. Well, yeah, he got a bit in shape. I mean, there's a picture of him like not in amazing shape, but I kind of get him being more like because he's not out of shape, is he? He's more athletically built rather than like a tank.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You know?
Well, to be fair, that's another thing that added to it was he kind of just looked like a normal dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I liked that. I think like he's just an athletic guy who's wanting to do this for like justice or vengeance, and if he was huge, I think that would detract from the groundedness of it.
Yeah.
But they definitely shouldn't be showing the back of him to be like, oh yeah, look how big he is.
That was the only criticism was like, you can't have it both ways, man. Like he either doesn't get big for the role and he's just a normal geezer, or he gets big and you show us all his traps. You know what I mean? You can't, don't do it both ways. That's nonsense.
I agree. I agree with you, man. Like I liked it. I know Lorenzo didn't. He was like he's too small. But I'm just kind of like it doesn't bother me that much. I know I like you. I was like I like the groundedness of it. I think it's good. Yeah. Can you believe that was Colin Farrell as well as Penguin?
Yeah, mad as Penguin. Yeah, insane.
Oh my god! Like,
I'm sorry,
I couldn't
man.
believe
Can you hear all this fucking noise behind me?
A little bit, yeah.
Mate, literally, right. As I was waiting for you to come on, he was just laying on the sofa. He was nice and quiet. He was being a good lad. And then as soon as you came on, he was like, right, let's fucking go. Like, time to play. And I was like, fuck's sake. Normally when we do the episodes, like Lily's home, so she can fuck about with him whilst we're chatting. But because she's not home, he's just in here with me, and yeah, he's going crazy, man. Like, first thing he did, I was like, oh no, you're joking. Was he went straight over? Hang on, he's got this toy. It's So first of all, it's indestructible. He likes to get the squeakers out, but it's indestructible. How loud does this squeak? Look.
Oh my god.
And he grabbed that, and I went no, and I gestured. So when I say like here, like excuse me, when I say here, like when I say here, like come here, like I point at the ground. So I had to do it without saying anything. I pointed it at the ground, and he came over and yanked it out of his mouth. I was like, no, and that's on the table. And then he's got a few of these bones, which I'm picking it up as if I'm showing you. You're not there.
No, I can see. It's good.
He's got these bones which are filled, and sometimes he gnaws on them. But what he normally does is he like it's almost like he plays fetch with himself. He'll pick it up and like sling his head and throw it, and then chase it. So I'm sure. Could you hear this a minute ago? Kind of like
yes, yeah.
That's just a bone being flung around the living room.
No.
So yeah, and so now he's just here on my lap, like because I've taken both those toys away and they're on the table. So now he's got like his head on my lap as if to say, like, please give me them back.
I love the idea that he's gotten rowdy because he's got thoughts on Batman. He's like, no,
yeah, I hope so, maybe.
No, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh Reggie.
Anyway, I think that's enough Batman. I
Yeah,
put a
fair.
story up, to be fair, like an hour ago,
Mm.
asking people if they had anything that they wanted us to talk about
Hmm.
on today's episode. So
Awesome.
we did have a couple.
Cool.
One of them, I'll smash it out quickly because it's about boxing, and it's a you wouldn't have watched it. I didn't
No.
know who they were. I had to quickly Google it.
Yep.
So Jack wanted to know, what do you think of the Catterall Taylor outcome? Is it necessary to go to the police about it? And I was like,
Who?
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm
Who are
like,
these
what?
people? What's going on? But the question was quite enticing. Do you have to go to the police about the outcome of this fight? I was like, that's insane. What happened?
Mm.
It was literally just a bad decision, mate. It was like a decent fight, to be fair. I just watched the highlights. It was quite a good
Mm.
fight
Hmm.
based on the highlights.
Hmm.
Purely based on the highlights, it did seem like the decision was wrong, but not by so much so that it was scandalous. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I just disagreed with that decision. But then again, as I said, I didn't watch the full fight.
No.
But basically, the manager of the loser has like reported the decision to the police because he obviously think there's like some funny business going on.
Oh, damn. Oh,
That's it though,
okay.
man. It's like, come on, how many events have we watched where the decision's been absolute fucking bullshit? You just go home, man. Go home, eat your dinner, go to bed, and tomorrow's a new day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the amount of times that we've seen like like recently, okay, like very tight fight. But I thought Robert Whittaker beat Adesanya,
Agreed.
but a totally tight fight. Like somebody going to me, oh no, I think Adesanya won. I wouldn't be like, well, we got to call the fucking police then because this is
Shut
gonna
your
be
fucking whore mouth. No,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Just fair play.
it's a fucking robbery. Like, and there's been some mad ones on UFC. There's been some mad fights that worse than that, where I've gone like, what fight were they
Worse
watching?
than Lima, Michael Venom Page.
I mean, that was pretty. That was pretty
That's one of the
bad.
worst ones I've seen.
That was pretty bad. I think another one was. Oh my god, he fought in. His name was Fam. Do you remember Fam? He fought on Ultimate Fighter, and I think he fought Leonard Garcia. And it was just nuts. Like he battered him, like absolutely battered him, and they gave it to him anyway. It was at UFC 100, and it was a
Right,
big
okay.
deal. Like people were like,
Another
"What
one.
the fuck? Like how could he have won this?" But like judging decisions always happen. Like there's a lot of like really bad judging decisions.
The thing with it as well is that so the guy who won was the super lightweight champion.
Mm,
He was Scottish. They were fighting in Scotland.
hmm.
So and then obviously like at the decision, and every punch the Scot ever threw, everyone was going crazy because 90% of the audience is Scottish, right?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
obviously sways the judges.
Hmm.
And then on the video I watched, the commentators were clearly English.
Hmm.
So they were really, really leaning on the other guy, Catterall, who was
Hmm.
English.
Hmm.
So I think a combination of the commentators really being a little bit biased. I mean, I do think Catterall won regardless,
Hmm.
but the commentators being biased towards Catterall makes the viewers think he's winning,
Yeah.
but the fans screaming and crying out for Taylor, lets the judges think that he's winning. I think
So,
there's a lot of factors. It's not just a matter of I don't know. It was a scrappy fight. It's hard
well,
to
yeah.
call.
Here's a question for you then. Do you think, and I have thoughts on it, but do you think judges should be in a separate room to the fights?
Yeah, like a soundproof room.
Yeah, where they're watching it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
because
Yeah, definitely because the home crowd makes such a massive difference.
uh huh,
It also might help if the audience don't know who the judges are because I feel like they often feel pressured. Like
hmm,
when we were at Bellator, did you not feel like those judges felt pressure to give it to Paige?
100%. Like
Definitely.
the every time Paige did anything, even if it was
Everyone went
a
crazy, even if it was
oh,
shit.
they went mad, didn't they? They were
Yeah.
screaming, and it was like even if it didn't touch Lima, they were screaming, and I was like, nothing
Annoying,
happened.
man.
Yeah, and if I was a
What
judge
annoys
in that,
me is because people are screaming. They don't even know
no,
Michael Venom Page. He's just English, and you're English. Oh, I
yeah,
hate it, man. I
yeah,
hate it. I don't think I've ever supported a person or a team or anything purely because we're the same nationality. I
no,
don't
same.
know you, mate. If you're sound, that's cool, and I'll support you. But
Hmm.
if the other guy's more sound, I'll support him regardless of where he's from. I've
Yeah,
never understood it, man.
yeah,
Never
same.
understood it.
I don't have like strong dislike for Michael Bisping, but most fights that he's been in, the person he's facing, I prefer. So like
Yeah.
GSP, love GSP.
Love GSP.
Love
Yeah,
GSP.
fucking French Canadian though, isn't he?
Yeah, no, I've got literally no connection to GSP. Like none.
Innit, mate? I
I'm
know,
always
mate.
going to support GSP. When he fought Anderson Silva, I love Anderson Silva, so I wanted Anderson to win that fight. Michael. When he fought Dan Henderson, I really wanted Dan Henderson to win that fight. I
Too
love
right.
Dan Henderson.
And
Like
he did, right?
and that's
Well,
another one that
right.
I was like, that's
another one.
outrageous.
Ridiculous. He like nearly killed him 3 times.
Mad. I have
Mad.
There's nobody who could tell me that no, Bisping won that fight. I even if you did like a breakdown, like I've watched breakdowns, there isn't a way that you'd be like, oh no, well he was more busy. He didn't do anything. Like he didn't hurt Henderson once, and Henderson almost knocked his head off like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, I'm not going to call the police over that. It's just a bad
these
judge
things,
decision.
they just happen, man. They just happen.
Yeah.
So there you go, Jack. That's not really an answer, but
well, I wouldn't. I guess the answer is don't call the police over that. I guess
don't call the police over that.
Yeah, they've got more important shit to be dealing with.
Niall had 2 good questions. Hey, Niall, watch out for that deer. So first of all, what are you gonna do when your boy Kevin Lee gets smashed by Diego? I don't know why he's framed it as if like Kevin Lee is our guy and we don't like Diego Sanchez. I love Diego.
I love Diego Sanchez.
Why have you framed the question that way, Niall?
Yeah, I think that's very loaded. We both
we don't like Diego.
I love Diego Sanchez.
Kevin Lee.
Yeah, he's a legend. In fact, one of the reasons I was very occupied, I guess, or paying attention to Diego Sanchez with that whole situation with that cult sort of leader he was in, because I like Diego a lot. I didn't want him to be in that situation because I like him a lot. So yeah, fuck you. No,
he's a little bit easily led, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's
sad.
been unusual, even from Tough One. He's been unusual, but
he's an eccentric guy.
I'd like to see Diego win that.
Kevin Lee was thinking this today.
At one point. Do you remember when there was that brief period when everyone was like, "Oh, Kevin Lee like could take the title. He's mad. He's got it all," and then he just went to shit. What happened to him?
It's bizarre, isn't it? I remember GSP saying he was one of the most talented, raw talents in that division. I don't know. I think he's somebody who suffers from, and I think this is why this fight's really interesting. I also would like to see Diego win, even though I really like Kevin Lee. I think just for the fact that it's Diego, I'd love to see him win. Yeah. But I think Kevin Lee is perhaps somebody who is spoiled by the fact there isn't a weight division between 155 and 170.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I think he doesn't. He's too big at 155. He struggles to make that weight.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He gets done by people who are naturally a 155er. He is way too small to be at 170. Him versus Kamaru Usman. Oh, mate, Usman would destroy him. Like, I don't even think there's a fight there. I think Usman would just batter him. And then, but most people in that top 5, like you think of the people that are in that division, like Kobe Covington, Gilbert Burns, they're big guys. And I think he suffers from being in the middle. Like one of his stellar performances is when he knocked out Gillespie. Crazy knockout, and I think that was at 155. I thought things were going to turn around. Yeah, it was, because he fought what's his face afterwards, Charles Oliveira. The thing in saying that, though, we go, oh, what happened to him? He knocked out Gillespie, then he fought Charles Oliveira, and Charles Oliveira then became champion. Like, he fought another time against Tony Ferguson and then became champion against Michael Chandler. So he's still only losing to the top of the 155 division, you know. So he's still very good. I just think people overhyped him maybe to be like, this guy's going to be the champ of the world. He's going to be unbelievable. And he's just still developing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, mate. I think you're right.
Difficult one, but Niall, we like both of them. We enjoy them.
We do. Yeah. I do prefer Sanchez, though. I'd like to see Sanchez win that.
It would be cool, wouldn't it?
We'll do a quick plug as well, sorry. You can watch, that's on Eagle FC. That's the main event. That will be Eagle FC 46. You can watch Eagle FC for free if you download the FLX Cast app, which is pretty cool.
Mad.
So you can go back and watch the old fights, and you can watch it live for free, which is awesome.
That is awesome. It's kind of like One, isn't it, as well?
Does that.
Yeah, both of us went to the same place here. One does it.
Give One Championship a watch as well. The app is free.
And they've got... that crazy fight coming up where it's mixed rules, haven't they?
Rod Tang, Mighty Mouse. Can't wait
Yeah.
for that, mate. I mean, Mighty Mouse is going to win,
Mental.
but
Yeah,
can't wait for that.
totally.
Mate, I love Rod Tang. I'm not even being biased. It's just nonsense. Like,
It
I
is.
mean, right? Anyone can knock out anyone in theory. Do you know what I mean? Anyone can get a good shot in and knock someone out. But to imply that, I know Rod Tang is like the best Muay Thai fighter they have.
Mm-hmm.
To imply that like the best Muay Thai fighter will just wipe away the best, one of the best strikers in MMA inside of one round with ease is insane. But the idea that one of the best mixed martial artists in the world will submit someone who doesn't grapple inside of one round is so plausible.
Yeah.
Like, I just think Mighty Mouse will just like do fine in the striking in the first round, but probably lose the first round, but not by much, and then just immediately take him down and submit him in the second.
Yeah.
Or ground and pound and just get the easy win in the second round.
Why
That's
would
my
he not
prediction.
do that?
Well, exactly. and I can't see Rod Tang being able to prevent a takedown and sub from Mighty Mouse. I just don't see it happening.
Unless he's been doing like. Do you
Come on,
think...
man. It doesn't matter. It don't matter.
Well,
Even if he's been doing it for 2 years straight, it's not enough to catch up with Mighty Mouse.
I don't know much about Rod Tang. Does he do? Has he ever like? Does he only do Muay Thai? Like, not
Yes.
competitively, training wise.
Let's have a look.
Like, because if he has only ever trained in Muay Thai throughout his entire career, I mean, I completely agree with you. If he's only done 2 years, Mighty Mouse is still messing him up. I just would be interested if like he's actually been doing like the wrestling stuff as well to help with his cardio.
On mixedmartialarts.com, there's a statement. Rod Tang admits only doing grappling several times before.
Okay, yeah, no, he's going to lose. Yeah, no,
fight.
he's going to definitely lose. Yeah,
Whoa,
no, okay.
come on. I mean,
yeah,
fair fucking play to like for signing
cool.
up. You know what I mean? But
he's definitely going to lose, though. Like, yeah,
of course.
I just thought on the outside
unless
chance
he can knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I just thought on the outside chance that, like, I don't know, like, like Adesanya was a kickboxer, right? So, and Adesanya was like, oh, actually, I've been training MMA as well. So he then went over to do that, and he's become a champion. Obviously, that's an extreme example with that, but like, if he suddenly was like, actually, I've done like MMA training throughout my whole career, I just don't compete in it, I'd be like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, if he's only done it a few times, yeah, that's like completely nonsense.
Nonsense, isn't it, mate? He's gonna get fucked. Niall also wants to know, what do we think of the Till and Kamaya of bromance?
Well, they're in the same weight division, right? Or is Kamaya like, he can jump between the two?
Kamaya is welter, isn't he?
But he fought at middleweight as well, hasn't he?
But but I'm pretty sure he's at welter because he wants to come for Usman, right? And they were asking Usman, well, what do you think of Kamaya? Here he comes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play.
Till is middle, isn't he? But
I mean, it's nice.
I mean, that's fantastic for Darren Till, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, man, Darren. I mean, he still got knocked out by Masvidal, but if Till gets a good bit of grappling in, I don't know. That's the main thing missing from his game, isn't it? Us British lads, not many British lads in MMA can grapple.
No, and I don't know with Till, like, it's cool that he's got a friend. Like, good for him.
Oh, lovely.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, cool. Like, and if he's training with him to do wrestling, great. But like, he got done, but because he's at middleweight now, he got done by Whittaker. Like, Whittaker really messed him up, and I don't really see Till doing well in middleweight. You can train with him, you can train with whoever, but I think there's holes in his game that's going to take more than having a new friend to fill. Like, you can train with Kamaru Usman all of a sudden, but you're not suddenly going to become a better wrestler than the people in that division all of a sudden. Like, maybe I'm talking shit, but the holes in his game is more than just his wrestling, I think. Like, his cardio is like a big problem. Like, that Robert Whittaker fight, he looked really bad. Like, he didn't look good. First round, he looked all right, and I was like, oh, okay. But then Whittaker just turned up the cardio and the pressure, and it just went to shit. Like, it went real bad. So maybe it will be good, but I'm happy he's got people to hang with. It's always nice to see people have friends. Like, it's good.
Yeah, that's always lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm glad people aren't lonely.
Take on it. I like that. Very wholesome.
Yeah.
We just got a new one in, and this is bad news. I mean, someone who comes to my class, Cole, big lad, big Cole. All right, big Cole.
Big back Cole.
He's just messaged in.
Mm.
I knew he hurt his shoulder, but he said it's quite funny actually. Well, it shouldn't be funny, but the way he's put it is funny. He said,
I'm bringing it up as well.
he said, "Why does nasty coach slam student rupturing his rotator cuff?" We were in wrestling, we were doing takedowns, and I think he went down funny on his arm, and he hurt his rotator cuff. I'm sorry, Cole.
Oh no.
I'm very sorry.
Oh no. It's okay.
That makes me sad.
Oh.
Don't be a bitch, Cole. No, I'm joking. Please come back.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You can rupture my rotator cuff next class. I'll let you slam me.
I've another one, I guess, to talk about, not questions wise, but just general, is Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler being announced.
That's awesome, dude.
Great fight.
Yeah.
I feel, I don't know about you. See what, maybe have a think what you think. Well, that's why I'm asking. What terrible English. Let's move on from that.
That's really bad.
I feel this is not as good a fight for Tony.
No, I don't think so. Like,
No.
Michael Chandler still seems so hungry, and Ferguson is kind of like, one more? All right, one more.
Yeah.
Someone messaged in, James Bryer messaged in saying it should be Ferguson McGregor and the loser retires.
Yes.
Heavy. I was like, that's
do you know what
brutal,
though?
but yeah, okay.
It's completely true. Like,
that's fair, man.
I don't think, I feel bad for Tony because I actually like Tony and his style. But yeah,
I find him annoying. Like, he's very fun to watch, but I find him annoying as a person.
Oh, as a person, like, I wouldn't want to hang out with Tony Ferguson. Like,
No.
But as his fighting style is crazy.
Just to confirm, if you got the option, if you had the chance to hang out with Tony Ferguson, you'd say no.
Well, like, if he messaged me,
yeah. Hey man, like, heard your podcast.
I don't know. I would love him to come on here.
Do you want to hang out and like kick some lampposts?
I would say no to that if he said you want to kick some. I would genuinely.
Can I watch you kick lampposts?
Yeah, I would probably go watch Tony Ferguson kick lampposts, but the problem is when you go, he's probably going to start telling you about like flat Earth and cables in the walls, listening to him and stuff, and then you'd be like, oh Jesus Christ!
Sounds like he knows his stuff.
Yeah, but.
Ian,
oh,
you know what that means.
I completely forgot about this.
You know what that means.
It's UFO minute.
UFO minute.
Yeah.
What do we do in UFO minute?
Talk about UFOs for a bit, just for a little bit.
Oh. That was anticlimactic.
Mate, whenever I hear those noises, I panic. I'm always like, I forget that we've said we do that. And then I'm like, oh shit, I have to think of something. And then all I can think of every time is something for a minute. You know what I mean? That's all I can think of. Like,
yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so, I mean, do you have any thoughts on UFOs? I don't believe anyone has ever seen one.
I think that not in the traditional sense of like aliens and stuff, but I think
sorry, that's what I mean. Because obviously we've all seen things we can't identify. That's
exactly,
very regular.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people see stuff and it's probably like spy planes or something like that, like experimental spy planes. Well, no,
all right, here we go. Right, so we got a little conspiracy theory going on here.
No.
Spied upon and
no, not spied upon. But you know, like,
aliens, it's the fucking government. All right, Ian.
Flat Earth over here. No, I'm joking. I do not believe. I want to make clear. I do not believe that.
Not what you said before.
Do you know, like the U-2 stealth bomber? The testing of that was a lot on the west coast of the USA, and at the time, like before they like said, because it's a secret plane, they're not going to be like, oh, we have a stealth bomber called the U-2 plane.
That's fair.
A lot of people were saying they were seeing lights in the sky and stuff, and a lot of that can be attributed to the testing of the U-2 stealth bomber, because they're not going to be like, oh yeah, we've got a new plane and this is what it does. So I just think a lot of the time when people see stuff, they go, oh, I saw this unidentified flying object, and in actual fact, they've seen maybe a military plane getting tested. Right.
Good point. I'm wondering if this is the last thing you hear before you get bombed by the U-2.
Also, I'm not sure how much of this we can play.
Oh yeah, hang on. Oh yeah, that's a
Oh
good
shit!
one. The whole episode gets taken down just because I chose to do that.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, cut that.
Cut that.
Yeah.
That.
Fantastic. Well, that's our allotted time.
Yeah. Would it be all right if I do a cheeky plug as well? Is it okay if I plug something as well?
Depends what it is. Tell me quietly, quick.
What I was going to plug.
Hang on, listeners, please just quickly cover your ears.
Yeah. What I was.
Thank you.
Is mention the new podcast that I'll be doing this month on a monthly basis about comic books.
The comic book. Okay. Right. So only if you talk about Batman.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Right.
that's fine.
Okay, Ian's. Hang on, hang on. Right, if anyone did cover their ears, how would they know when to uncover their ears? There's no visual.
Oh mate, we fucked this. They've gone. Niall's not listening anymore.
No, they're not gone. They're just sitting there, ears covered. There's nothing we can do.
Well, will be a plug to nobody then.
Go on then, make your plug. Everyone's listening.
I love how sad you feel. Yeah, go on then. Fucking hell.
They weren't listening anyway, so just get it over and done with.
So I've been doing a podcast on for the UK film review, where I'm a guest on it, where we're just talking about films. Sometimes it's to do with comic books and stuff, but I will be starting a comic book reading club basically each month, where I'll be on it. It's called the Phantom Zone, and I'm the host. It's only once a month on the 20th of every month, where we're going to be talking about a comic book, its inspirations, etc. And that's basically it. And our first one is on The Long Halloween, which is a massive influence on all Batman films. It's a Batman comic, which The Dark Knight was inspired by, and so was the recent one. So yeah, that's basically it.
So the 20th of each month?
Yeah.
Regardless of what day of the week that is?
Well, it might be the Sunday closest to that 20th.
Oh, I was going to say, that is inconvenient. To a lot of people.
I know everybody who's guesting on it.
I can't imagine how that would work.
You have to make this.
Like, it's a Sunday this month. Understandable. But from there on out, things get tricky. It's a Wednesday in April.
Yeah. No, they're going to have to make
Friday
it. No,
you're going to have to be there.
But yeah, if anybody wants to listen, it's there.
Cool.
Yeah. But that's it.
Well, see you then. we still need a way to finish these other than that's not funny anymore.
No.
Briefly, that was funny. Like
No.
we don't know how to finish, but now it's just
no, it is actually we don't know how to finish. Yeah, and
more sound effects or
maybe like I wouldn't.
Maybe or
was that a sound effect then? I don't.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a kitten. It says there's some weird sound effects on it. It's just a free app with some weird sound effects on it.
I love that most of the ending of our podcasts, though, are us doing like post-production discussion.
Just trailing off, yeah.
Yeah, like us talking about how we could make this reasonably better or even reasonably good, you know?
Yeah. Oh, there's some good ones here. I had this one, look. That could have worked for the UFO part.
Oh. We fucked it.
I wonder if any of these would work with Batman. Not really. No. Oh, I've got an airstrike one that could have worked. Hang on, for you two. That would have worked for the U2 bomber, maybe.
I don't know what this has become. I'm gonna just call it there. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Combat Casuals podcast.
To get involved with the ultimate fighting conversation, email us at combatcasuals@outlook.com.
We can answer your questions in our next podcast.
Or maybe even have you on the show.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, leave us a review, or support us however you can.
Thank you to Me Against the World for our theme music.
Catch you next time.